Thanks, Carol. It's a great pleasure to be back in New York, and a pleasure to have an excuse to come back here. It's rare that I get a chance to come back. Being in Chicago and traveling around the world as the job demands. The idea of this talk is to talk about green architecture, but to try to see where green is going. And I think that there's an evolving sensitivity to the environment. And this certificate up here, which was up before, and I'm sure everybody's wondering, what the heck is this thing? I decided, since it was a green lecture, that I ought to see whether I could minimize the effect on the environment for my flight over here. And actually, this is a UK-based organization, but you can purchase a CO2 offset that balances out the amount of carbon dioxide that your trip took. So it cost me $10 to buy a CO2 offset for my flight to New York and back. Not my taxi cab ride or whatever else whatever else I do to damage the environment in between. But what is very interesting is that there's this evolving attitude that you need to balance out the negative aspects of what you do so that overall the environment is the effect on the environment is kept neutral. And I think that the highest ambition now for buildings in general is to create buildings that are carbon neutral, and even people are trying to create a carbon neutral footprint for themselves. Now that said, I'm going to show what essentially are a series of experiments, and some that were begun in New York and done completely in New York, and some that have been done since I went to Chicago. And they mostly pertain to the idea that one of the challenges doing buildings all over the world is trying to create architecture that's place specific, and to do that in a way that is genuine, rather than just importing motifs, such as creating a pagoda in China or something that looks like it was built 100 years ago in New York, which was the postmodern approach to contextualism. There is an idea that somehow if you create the right kind of a building that performs in the right way in a particular environment, that you can create a language of architecture that is place specific. And I guess you can decide for yourselves whether these are successful or not.